Welcome to another episode of the Mind's Eye with Mike Lowry. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in as always. I got another good one for you today. Given the state of the world with everything that's going in, I just want to remind us to love each other. I want us to be reminded to love your neighbor, regardless of who they are and what they may do. Just find ways to love on people, man. If somebody makes a phone call, I understand you may be busy, or find a way to call them back. If they call again, try and answer if you're not busy. I think oftentimes we go through so much in life and we lose sight of, you know, things that you may be able to provide for other people based on what they may need at the time. A lot of people are going through something. So just, be open minded and be able to receive and also give. As we know, there's a lot that's going on in the world right now, and I think that we're starting to lose sight on a lot of things. One thing in particular, I think that we're really starting to lose sight on what it means to love thy neighbor. Whether you're a Christian, whether you have strong religious beliefs, or whatever the case may be for you, we've been taught for a long time to love thy neighbor. We've been taught for a long time to love thy neighbor as ourselves. But for some reason, it's starting to be a little more situational. We're probably the most divided now than we've ever been. And I just want to remind us that, we can still love thy neighbor even if we don't agree. We can still find ways to connect and still grow together even if we look different. And I don't claim to be an expert or anything. I just, want to give perspective and allow people to kind of, take what it take what they choose from it, And but I think we need to get back to loving each other. I think that for a long time, we've been consistently taught that, to love that neighbor. So much so that I mean it's been embedded in scripture. And I always like to use these scripture references, like I said before, because it creates the consistency. Like, a lot of this stuff isn't just made up. It's not something that people kind of like pull out the hat and a magic trick appears or whatever the case may be. This is stuff that has been set in place well before us that is still relevant right now. All right, so I just want to give two scripture references to support that consistency. One being Matthew 22 and 39. It says, "A second is equally important: love thy neighbor as thyself." Another one would be Leviticus 19:18. "Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against a fellow Israelite, but love thy neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord." And this is shown six other times in the Bible. So I don't want to, give you a Bible lesson or anything like that. It's just mainly just about the consistency of things put in place prior to us that are still staying true to today. But for some reason, we have lost sight of that, especially with this new election. This whole liberal versus conservative. I've literally seen people have disrespectful debates and comments and things that they've said to people that they call their friend because they don't agree. And I never understood how something that don't affect anybody directly as the individual can cause you to lose sight of what's right in front of you in terms of your friendship, in terms of the things that you guys have built together as far as friends, family members, or what have you, to where a political debate based on what you can agree or disagree to can cause you to not like somebody or to disown this person or call that person names or be disrespectful. I just think that we're getting into a place where we aren't standing true to this scripture anymore at all. It's like we find ways to hate each other. We find ways to dislike each other. And the fact that because we don't agree politically means that there's no way we could be on the same playing field or think the same way. So I have to insult your character. And I think that's just utterly ridiculous and it's gotten out of hand. And there's more examples of that. One example would be in 2023, Haley Bailey was the latest Little Mermaid, and the outrage, the negativity, the backlash, it just goes to show you like the state that we are in as a people. And it's just sickening to think that like a color of someone's skin is significant of a children's movie. It just blows my mind how we get to a place where we don't like each other for the smallest, simplest things. Especially when you look into history, how a lot of things have been intertwined or interchanged when it comes to movies, characters, or whatever the case may be. I'm sick of this, So I just want to remind people of things and situations as to why we are where we are is because we've lost sight on loving each other. We lost sight of, you know, loving people for who they are and agreeing to disagree. But let me move along because there's more examples, and I'm not going to be here all night. But I'm gonna give you enough to say, okay, who have I disowned, who have I disliked because they didn't agree with me, and how can I do something to kind of make that situation better? Because we owe it to each other. Another example would be the latest Captain America. Have you know the Captain America character for the latest movie was Anthony Mackie. Anthony Mackie is obviously a black man. And what was interesting about that is that he also got a lot of backlash because for some reason society had created this narrative that it was only supposed to be, a white man. But if you knew the history of the comic book, a black man was actually written into the character in 1998. So a lot of people don't know that. I didn't even know that. And so sometimes when you're doing this stuff, you find some things, little here and there things that you had no idea about, which can prove more that we find ways to love each other when it's convenient, which is unfortunate. One of the ones that's really gotten probably out of hand is like based on someone's sexual orientation. Like if you decide to do what you want to do, that's your business. You have to answer to someone else, you have to answer to God, you have to do what's necessary for your own life. It's not me to judge, do what you do, but I'm not gonna dislike you. I'm not gonna stop loving you because I am supposed to love thy neighbor. It doesn't say based on what you decide to do. It doesn't say based on the color of your skin. It doesn't say based on your sexual orientation. It doesn't say based on whether you're a man or a woman. It says to love thy neighbor. And again, we're losing sight of what that means because of people doing things that we don't necessarily agree with, which isn't our business. They don't have to answer to us. All we can do is minister to them and talk to them about what we believe. That's right. And then after that, disowning them isn't going to help them or guide them to the promised land or to being what's right, disowning them. So I think that we need to do a better job of loving on people, caring about people, caring for people, regardless of who they are, what they look like, what their sexual orientation is, their job, the color of their skin, whether they big or small, and just do a better job of loving each other. I think the world will be a better place. I think that we can come from something big and strong together powerfully. So I'm encouraging everybody to love each other. Giving you this and saying this as a reminder, I do want to give a shout out to us as well when it comes to a disaster, wildfires, a hurricane, anytime we need some type of relief. For some odd reason, some way, we all do come together to support, show love, and help. But why can't we do that on a daily, day-to-day basis? Why can't we do that with just our day-to-day situation? Why is it so hypocritical? And it depends on who they are and what they look like. I just think that's ridiculous. I think that we need to be more consistent. And like I said, the word showed the consistency from the beginning to now. So just figure out more ways to love each other. Figure out more ways to connect with each other and not get so focused on that. Well, I can't accept that because they don't look like me. Well, you can't be mad at somebody for something they didn't choose. You didn't even choose the color of your skin. You didn't choose the your parents. So how can you fault somebody else for something they didn't choose either? You just got a better end of something that you didn't even have to choose. So I just want people to keep in mind that I love y'all. While I got you here, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt stuck in life knowing you are capable of more, especially when life isn't going as you intended? Well, you're not alone. This happens to us all, where we hit a wall and feel unfulfilled and overwhelmed. This can look different for everyone. As a transformation life coach, I specialize in helping individuals break through limitations and create clear vision for the future. Here at Mind's Eye, I intend to help you explore a new sense of resilience and expand one's perspective, to challenge your mindset, to feel relieved and accomplished through provoking conversations. To hear more, let's connect at mindsimo.com. Click contact, fill out the form, Info will be in the description. Thank you. Hope to hear from you soon. Well, that concludes another episode of the Minds Out with Mike Lowry. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. Find somebody that you can reach out to today. Find somebody that you can lend a hand to if you have the capacity. I understand if you don't, but just figure out more ways to kind of love on each other. Until next time, don't forget to like, share, subscribe.